Imagine doing everything right. You threw away the salt shaker years ago. You take your losartan or amlodipine every single morning without fail. You tried to stay calm. But then, you sit down, wrap the cuff around your arm, and wait. And when the number flashes on the screen, your heart sinks. 150/90. It feels like your body is broken. It feels like the medication is useless. But what if I told you that salt is not the only enemy? In fact, for many of you, salt is the least of your problems. There are 5 specific habits, 5 invisible traps that are keeping your arteries stiff and your pressure high. These are what we call silent spikes. You might be triggering one right now without even knowing it. Today, we are going to fix this. We are going to identify the 5 worst things you can do for your blood pressure that have nothing to do with salt. We will uncover the hidden sugars, the dangerous painkillers, and the nighttime habits that are destroying your kidneys. But first, we must start with the most common error of all. The error that might mean you don't even have high blood pressure right now. The first worst thing is not a food. It is a mistake in how you measure. We call this the measurement sabotage. Millions of seniors are diagnosed with resistant hypertension, meaning the drugs don't work, simply because they are measuring incorrectly. You are essentially generating a false number and then panicking over it. Let's look at your posture. Right now, as you sit there, are your legs crossed? Do you have one knee over the other? It feels comfortable, but physiologically, it is a disaster for your reading. When you cross your legs, you compress the femoral artery. You force your heart to pump harder to push blood through that kink in the hose. Studies show this adds up to 8 or even 10 points to your systolic reading. Just by uncrossing your legs and placing both feet flat on the floor, you could drop from 140 down to 130 instantly. Next, think about your bladder. Did you go to the bathroom before you sat down? Or are you holding it in because you want to get the measurement over with? This is a critical mistake. The nerves in your bladder are directly connected to your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system. A full bladder sends a distress signal to your brain that constricts your blood vessels. Measuring with a full bladder can add a massive 15 points to your reading. You might think you are in a hypertensive crisis, when really, you just need to pee. And finally, there is the talking trap. Many couples measure their pressure while chatting about the news or what to make for dinner. Speaking, even listening actively, raises your pressure by 10 points. You must be silent, you must be empty, and you must be uncrossed. But even if your posture is perfect, the machine you are using might be lying to you. There is a specific type of monitor that most seniors buy because it is cheap and easy. But for anyone...
Now, look at the device on your table. Is it a cuff that goes around your upper arm, or is it a small bracelet that goes around your wrist? If you are over 60, and you are using a wrist monitor, you should probably stop trusting it. Here is the anatomical truth. As we age, the arteries in our extremities, like the wrist, tend to calcify and stiffen faster than the main arteries closer to the heart. This stiffness makes it very difficult for a wrist machine to detect an accurate pulse wave. Furthermore, wrist monitors are extremely sensitive to position. If your wrist is not exactly at the level of your heart, the reading can be off by 20 points. If it is too low, the pressure reads high. If it is too high, the pressure reads low. For a senior, the gold standard is always an upper arm monitor. It measures the brachial artery, which is larger, closer to the heart, and gives a much truer reflection of your cardiovascular load. And one final rule for measurement. You must respect the 5-minute rule. Never measure your pressure immediately after walking into the room or carrying groceries or climbing stairs. Your pressure is supposed to be high when you move. That is normal. You must sit in a chair with your back supported and feet flat for 5 full minutes of silence before you press the button. This allows your active pressure to settle down to your resting pressure. If you skip this, you are treating a number that isn't real. But let's assume you are measuring perfectly. The number is still high. Why? This brings us to the second worst thing you can do. You might be poisoning your kidneys with common painkillers. I see this every day. A patient has high blood pressure, but they also have arthritis in their knees or hips. So, they wake up and take an Ibuprofen or a naproxen or a prescription anti-inflammatory known as an NSAID. These drugs are miracles for pain, but they are poison for blood pressure. Here's the mechanism. Your kidneys rely on a chemical called prostaglandins to open their blood vessels and filter out salt. When you take an anti-inflammatory, you block these prostaglandins. You literally shut down the kidney's ability to excrete sodium. So you might be eating a low-salt diet, but because of the painkiller, your body is hoarding every single grain of salt you eat. It holds on to the water, and your blood volume explodes. If you have high blood pressure, regular use of NSAIDs can increase your systolic reading by 5 to 10 points, and it triples your risk of kidney failure. You must talk to your doctor about safer alternatives like acetaminophen or topical creams that don't enter the bloodstream. And while we are in the medicine cabinet, we must check for one more villain: cold and sinus medicine. If you have a stuffy nose, you might reach for a decongestant containing pseudoephedrine or phenylephrine. Think about how they work. They clear your nose by shrinking the swollen blood vessels in your sinuses. But the drug doesn't know how to stay in your nose. It travels through your whole body.
We have talked about errors in measurement and errors in medication. Now we must talk about the error on your plate. And no, I am not talking about the salt shaker. The third worst thing for blood pressure is fructose, specifically in the form of added sugar and fruit juice. For 50 years, doctors blamed salt, but newer research shows that sugar might be the true villain behind stiff arteries. Here is the biochemistry that few people talk about. When you eat table sugar or high fructose corn syrup, your liver has to process it. Unlike glucose, which every cell uses for energy, only the liver breaks down fructose. And the byproduct of breaking down fructose is uric acid. You might know uric acid causes gout, but it does something worse. Uric acid inhibits nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the gas that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. So when you eat a high-sugar diet, you are chemically turning off your body's ability to dilate its arteries. you are locking your vessels in a constricted state. This explains why so many diabetics also have high blood pressure. They go hand in hand. This leads to a painful truth about your breakfast. That glass of orange juice, it is a blood pressure bomb. When you juice an orange, you strip away the fiber. You're left with pure sugar liquid. Without the fiber to slow it down, that fructose hits your liver instantly, spiking uric acid and spiking insulin. High insulin tells your kidneys to reabsorb sodium. So, sugar literally makes your body hoard salt. If you have high blood pressure, eat the orange, never drink the juice. But there is a danger greater than sugar. It is a danger that strikes when you are unconscious. The fourth worst thing is ignoring sleep apnea. Normally, when you sleep, your blood pressure is supposed to drop by 10 to 20%. This is called dipping. It is the only time your heart gets a vacation. But for millions of seniors, this dip never happens. Instead, the pressure goes up. This happens because of obstructive sleep apnea. If you snore, or if you gasp for air, your throat is closing. You stop breathing. Your oxygen drops. Your brain panics and thinks you're being strangled. So, it dumps a massive dose of adrenaline into your bloodstream to wake you up just enough to breathe. This happens 20, 30, 50 times an hour. Your heart is being whipped by adrenaline all night long. If you wake up with a headache, a dry mouth, or if you are tired all day, you are likely a non-dipper. Your hypertension is being driven by your throat. No amount of pills will fix this. You need oxygen. A simple sleep study and a CPAP machine can cure this type of hypertension literally overnight.
And now, the fifth and final worst thing is ignoring your blood viscosity. Simply put, you are dehydrated. Think of your heart as a pump and your blood vessels as pipes. Is it easier to pump water or honey? Obviously, water flows freely. Honey requires massive pressure to move. When you are dehydrated, your blood loses volume but retains its cells and proteins. It becomes thicker, more viscous. Your heart must raise the pressure just to push this sludge through your capillaries. For seniors, this is tricky because your thirst mechanism is broken. You don't feel thirsty until you are already dangerously dry. If your urine is dark yellow, your pressure is high because your fluid is low. Drink water throughout the day, not all at once. Thin the honey back into water. But water isn't the only thing missing. To fix your pressure, you need to stop obsessing over salt and start obsessing over its partner, potassium. Your body works on a balance system called the sodium-potassium pump. Sodium tightens vessels, potassium relaxes them. The problem isn't just that you eat too much salt, it's that you eat almost zero potassium. If you eat a bag of chips, sodium, but no vegetables, potassium, your body holds on to the tension. You need to eat the anti-salt foods, avocados, spinach, sweet potatoes, and bananas. When you increase potassium, your kidneys naturally flush out the excess sodium. You lower your pressure by eating more of the right food, not just less of the wrong food. And don't forget magnesium. Magnesium is the mineral of relaxation. Without it, your blood vessels stay in a permanent state of spasm. A simple magnesium glycinate supplement at night can help relax those stiff arteries while you sleep. So let's review your high blood pressure detox. First, stop measuring incorrectly. Sit with feet flat, back supported, bladder empty, and wait 5 minutes. Second, check your medicine cabinet. Are you taking ibuprofen or decongestants that are sabotaging your heart medication? Third, look at your diet. Are you drinking fruit juice that spikes uric acid and destroys nitric oxide? Fourth, check your sleep. If you snore and wake up tired, get tested for apnea. You need oxygen, not just pills. And fifth, hydrate your blood and feed it potassium. High blood pressure is not a death sentence. It is a signal. It is your body telling